Harshan just lost his last game to Brian. It's going to be a best of three. Harshan, to start this game, he needs to win both of these games, or alternatively, win by a ton and tie one of the games. But wow, it's going to be quite the finish. Brian is ahead 220 or 245 spread. So yeah, if Harshan wins by 250 and then ties, I mean, I'm just going to eat my shorts. I think Harshan needs to win twice, and a pretty good start to do so with EFILNRS. And that's a pretty nice start. Like I said, you could score 12 points FIL. You could play a little bit longer, score 24. All those options are good. Keeping an S. Let's see what Brian draws. WU. Not so great. So far, it's looking okay for Harshan, but we cannot know what is going to happen in this game. Probably at least 10 moves will be played by each player. You could exchange the F. Is exchanging the F a good play here? Probably. You hit so many 7-letter words with the exchange. I wonder, will Harshan exchange one? Very interesting start, but regardless of what Harshan decides, he'll be pretty likely to draw a bonus on the next turn. I don't know if it's really worth it to score 0 here, though. Believe is good, but you get a bonus. Your bonus is not going to score all that much. Harshan has the option to score 12 points, leave very well. Score 24 points, leave pretty well. And that's what he's choosing to do. Flyer for 24. Engine agrees that it's all very close. Play short, play long, play very short. Harshan decided to take points. It's a good practical decision. AGLRTUW to respond for Brian. And you really want to play those two terrible tiles, the W and the U, but only good way to do that is to play WAUL or WAUR. And that also plays your only vowel left over. So it could be that something like TWAL to the left of the IER is a better option. WAG for 24 in the same spot doesn't look very good. Pretty dangerous. The leave is awful. The wall is the play. GRT is the leave. And we have a 1-point game. AAKNNOS for Harshan. Like I said, if you're just joining, 2 rounds remain. Harshan needs to win this game and the next game to guarantee a victory. And he's come from behind in so many of these ABSP events. Some of them he was leading the whole way. Brian's been in the lead for at least the last few rounds, having an incredible run. But will we see Harshan come back from a pretty large deficit, having to win 2 games on demand? It's a lot to ask for, even for the best in the world. So KAON for 29. That fits very nicely next to the WAU of Wall. That does appear to be by far Harshan's best play here. The ANS leave is pretty good too. And the defense this provides, making it very hard to score with a lot of racks if you're Brian. It's very strong. He plays it. But you guys might have noticed that blank tile on Brian's rack. That is the first blank of the game. And he has an incredible 94-point playable bonus here. And he sees it fritzing for 94 from the F and Flyer. Will propel Brian into the lead here. But will Harshan have anything to say about that? UX draw, that is very weird. I don't think that responds very well to fritzing. Does Brian know fritzing for sure, though? Do you know that fritz is a verb, or are you going to go with the safer 84-point glitzier, not opening a triple, but certainly leaving a few points on the table? Putting the G in the triple lane is not a huge deal. So if glitzier is the choice, safer choice, then definitely we'll count this as a small mistake. But fritzing would be ridiculous here. So if fritzing comes down, Aid plays through the first eye for 34. I mean, is there anything better than that you can... I don't like the responses for Harshan, honestly, after fritzing. After keeping ANS, I was kind of hopeful that we'd see a little bit of fireworks, but this might be just a misfire here, or just a unique fire. Fritzing for 94 is the choice, and that sinking feeling of drawing poorly, triple being opened, getting bingoed on for 94. So Harshan down 64 points after this play with QATSDNX. Aid for 34 is probably his best option. Retaining the S for walls, but also keeping 3 other consonants. Very unideal. Is there any merit to making another play? If you play Kots, that's what Harshan was thinking of playing before Brian's move of fritzing. Kots and walls. Is that good to maybe draw an eye to underlap with the X for 50 plus? Hope that Brian plays elsewhere. I feel like that's a little bit too much. I think you have to go with Kaid. Try to draw an X play soon. Just deal with the fact that a good start, you just haven't drawn what you needed to take the lead. Kaid is coming down. I bet you that tacking the S on for 3 points isn't a horrendous idea, despite that S being all important for walls down the line. Keeping 3 consonants rather than 4 is always much more practical. And wow, AILRSTT is the redraw, and that is another bonus. Trialist through the eye, starlit with walls. If Brian spots one of these, it's going to be so likely to clinch this tournament. But it's a long game. We saw a 150-point deficit or so reduced to a 15-point deficit last game. You missed out on that. Good thing you can replay on YouTube. Don't do it yet. Stay here with us. Wow. Brian is getting quite the run here. So Starlit 72 looks like the star play. Sean's drawn okay. He's drawn 2 vowels and a Y, which is a semi-vowel. Some of you think the Y is a vowel. I'll die on the hill of it being neither a vowel nor a consonant. That's neither here nor there, is it? Starlit. Does Brian alphabetize his letters? Is that something that we've seen him do? Yes, it is. It feels like he's just making sure he has everything tracked before considering his move. That's a very good idea. In tense situations, you don't want to mess up your tracking, don't want to mess up your scoring. He sees it. Such a strong performance by Brian. Is he going to cap it off with 1 round to go? Starlit for 72. Harshan's got to be feeling some type of way about that. It's still a game. This is a 100-point lead. 102 to be precise. Harshan can come right back with Nixie underneath the I and the T for 42. Retaining some line on the bottom of the board for himself scoring very well. But look at what the play of Starlet does to the left side of the board. Not only is it fantastic thing to draw 2 bonuses in a row, but it's just like everything you could ask for in a bonus. Harshan spotting Nixie. You could also play Toxin from the T in Starlet down to the triple. That's interesting. But I think you have to take points here. I don't know. Maybe Toxin is better. Maybe you do want to be a bit patient. Keep the Y, which is not a fantastic tile for bonuses. Take out the scoring spot, not create an easy scoring spot. I always hate putting Ys in triples. Opponents can just score 40, 50 easily using one of those Ys. So it could be that Toxin is a better choice here. Also worth mentioning Onyx through the blank N of Fritzing for 29. I don't think that's a candidate move. Which doesn't do anything good for you. So Nixie is the choice by Harshan. And another great draw for Brian. Harshan is hesitant to make this play, but he does indeed hit the clock. So YAJE, new 4-letter word, is probably the top choice for Brian. Eliminating that Y from contention, getting rid of the J, keeping pretty nicely. Finjan also available through the blank N. That's 34, keeping ES. What's very interesting here is just like last game, very few E's have been played, and it's almost midway through. Only 1 E has hit the board so far this game, so an E is actually far less good to keep on your rack than it normally would be. Might be noticing a little bit of twitching in cameras. We're working on that. Sorry about that. Behind the scenes, we're trying to fix that up. Yes, this is the star play once again for Brian Poe. And he is ahead 102 once again. Nixie 42, YAJE 42. And what does Harshan have to show for it? Nothing. There is no bonus here. The I is in the wrong spot for toasting. So I think for Harshan, you have to just play Doat. DOAT from the D in Kaid, underlapping. That's 27. Leaves GNST. Could turn into a bonus. The G actually a little bit useful on this board. I hate to compliment the G, but GNU, new, is a possibility on an otherwise closed left side of the board. You manage to start a bonus in G, breathing some life into the position. He is looking at notatings. You guys are right. Will he try that? That is not a word. I can't imagine trying that in any other situation than being down 100 points in a must-win scenario. But if notatings comes down, I am very confident Brian will challenge and win the game when it comes off the board. It pays to be patient in Scrabble. We saw almost the fruits of that patience in the last matchup, round 22. So Dote for 27 is what we're praying to see here for Harshan. There might be another option. There's no option from the T in Starlet. It always makes sense to play from that T and reopen part of the board, but can't play off your S here. Can't keep duplicate T's. Tough one. Harshan thinking of playing Tong, INN, and Tig underneath the NI of Nixie. Look at that draw from Brian. Oh my goodness. He has infects. And Tong blocks it. Doesn't it? Is there anything else that he has after Tong? Is Harshan going to make a soul read here? Infects will not play after this. Does Harshan want to play Tong, or does he see Dote? I think if he sees Dote, he's going to play it. I don't really see the benefit. We're going to restart the board cam to see if that fixes the issue. It won't be long. We'll see it soon. Harshan now looking at taunting. Does that take an S? Is that even a word? Taunting? I don't think that's a word. Does toting take an S? Totings is not a word either. You would like to make a play like that. Set up an S hook. Potting does take an S. Wow, that would be really good. Potting for 18, setting up an S. But it wouldn't be really good if Brian knows Tottings. This is very interesting. If Harshan plays Totting to set up his S, he is incentivized to use that hook. Brian is not. Brian is incentivized to be safe and not try something he's unsure of in a position where he's up by so much. So if Totting hits the board, I don't expect infects will come down unless Brian is certain that Tottings is a word. But on the other hand, Harshan, even if he's unsure of Tottings, will play a bonus with Tottings because he's in such a dire position. But no, instead we're seeing Tango, which makes sense, opening the left side of the board, and Infects is going to come down with authority with Int and TIS for 93 points. I don't know Harshan can recover from this, but he's come back from the dead before. Still triple open. There's still a lot of tiles to be played. Let's see what happens. We're here for it. With 18 minutes, he's feeling really good here. If he wins this game, he becomes the 2026 UK Open champion. Harshan, not so great of a draw here. Only one vowel. Second S. And infects for 93, just like a knife through the heart. How does Harshan recover from this position? He's down 177. It might be time for desperado mode. Maybe you need to open a second triple. But Brian takes this title. I believe it is his first major victory in an international event such as this one. Probably his first UK title as well. What I'm hearing. Very exciting stuff. He is so close. We'll have to see what he draws. If he draws UUUOOOO, maybe he'll be in trouble. But he's drawn 2 consonants, or 1.5 consonants. Oops, I caught myself there. Not the best draw of all time, but probably good enough. This would be the greatest comeback of all time. I'm calling it now. If I were in Brian's position, I would be so nervous. If I were in Harshan's position, I would be so nervous. It's top level Scrabble. Don't know what's going to happen until the last few moves. Blash is what Harshan has lined up through the A of Tango. That looks very strong. But it's only strong in a sense that if there was a tie game, Harshan would be likely to win after this play. His margins are so low right now. They may as well not even exist. But AAA or AAEEHY for Brian, he's looking to block that triple triple. That is the way back for Harshan. Harshan knows it. Brian knows it. Is there a way for him to do something about the triple triple? The only play that I see that's reasonable that blocks triple triple is Hyena. What else is there? YAGE to conclusively block? You're fixing the scores. You rarely see top experts having to correct their own scores, but in such a high stakes game, the nerves fill the room. They might even fill your computer screen. You're paying close attention. Over to Brian with 17 minutes, 40 unseen tiles for him, still a blank unseen, still a threat of a triple triple of a 9-timer. If I were Brian, I would block it. Hyena for 20, YAGE for 8. AGEE, does that conclusively block it? I don't know. Oh my goodness. Do you see what I see on Harshan's rack? Is Brian going to block? It looks like he's blocking. It looks like he's going to block Gungiest. But it just doesn't look like a good play. What if Harshan bonuses 3 times? What if he does something somewhere else on the board? That G isn't a huge threat, but it's the only immediate threat to Brian's 150-point lead. It just feels so much like the gravity is pushing you towards that part of the board here. You're up by so much. How do you lose? That's what Brian's asking. How can I lose this game? Can I play yeah for 33 underneath infects? Is that what he's looking at? What? Yeah for 30 on top of Starlit is reasonable. I think you have to block the triple triple. He had it lined up. He had Hyena lined up. Is he going to talk himself out of what we know is his ticket to victory in this 2026 UK Open? This is palpable. Is he going to take the points? Hyena 20, yeah 30, 10 points sacrifice. You almost never want to do that. But here you really do. Brian, what are you doing? Are you going to let the triple triple fall? Is Harshan going to come back in this game without a blank too? Still a blank unseen. Brian was moments away from pulling the trigger. Oh man. Oh, he's put it back. He's lined it back up. Hyena. That would stop what's coming. Woo. I don't know. I don't know what to say here. He blocks it. He does it. Hyena coming down. Harshan will still bonus, but it won't be 140 points. 72. He has cut Harshan's next score in half with this play. He has it on the board. He hasn't hit his clock. What are you thinking, Brian Poe? What are you worried about? Wow. It's just there. Harshan. He takes it back. He takes it back. Okay, but he doesn't. Okay. He's still trying to block. Triple. Yeen for 12 is the choice for Brian Poe. That does block Gungiest, but it doesn't block everything. Still possibilities of triples down the line, extremely unlikely ones. But Gunnites will open a second triple. This one far more likely to be used. Harshan will cut his deficit to 90 with this decision. And Brian will be incentivized to block the G of Gunnites, but he was setting his H up there. So will he utilize the scoring spot he's just created? Will he leave that G open? Harshan is still alive. I cannot believe that he's still alive in this game. What will Brian draw? But the blank! Oh my goodness. BP blank is Brian's draw, and he has one playable bonus. He does not need to spot this bonus. He can just block the G of Gunnites. And Harshan's drawn so poorly. That is deflating. Diooruw. What a swing. It could have gone complete other direction, but Brian Poe on a 3-tile draw has drawn the final blank. All roads here seem to lead to a victory, the 2026 UK Open, for Brian Poe, who's had the run of his life in this tournament. His tentative rating over that incredible 200 mark. I believe Grandmasters 185 or so and up in the UK. 200 rating. Top player. So Phage is the play. Be Happen was playable to the N and Gunnites for 92. This wins just about as often as that does. 45 and Harshan to respond with WU. Does he give up? Does he block that unlikely but possible triple, or is he going to fight? He has to fight. If he wants to win the tournament, he has to leave this open, but no. He says, all right, it's not happening. You will take it. Are not enough tiles in the bag, I think, for Harshan to come back from a 100-point deficit. There might be. He could still bonus twice. This is a reasonable decision. But little does he know, Brian has the nuts. ABDEMO blank. Amoeboid fits underneath Gunnites for 96, making ISM and EA. That's not the only bonus. Mambode plays there. Boardman plays to the N and Gunnites. Amoeboid plays through the I and Gunnites. If you don't see any of your bonuses, D-Mob for 50 is a nice consolation prize. underlapping the ITES on the bottom of the board. And Babbledom might be what Brian sees here from the B of Blash, but he sees Amoeboid, and it works. There's nothing more to consider here. Amoeboid will be GG as long as he designates the blank correctly. If he makes this an I, stone cold, 96 points, best play. Brian Poe will be 2026 UK Open champion. Blank is an I. Harshan has drawn into a bingo himself of Decurion or Desurion. I'm probably really botching that pronunciation. So he did have a chance had Brian not had such a good rack. 364 to 477 after this. And there's some ugly tiles to draw. Harshan could still get a bonus potentially on this board. Actually, how do you bonus on this board? Maybe an 11 through the I and the TIS is what Harshan will draw. Maybe an 8 through the T of Fritzing. This board is so exhausted. We'll see what they draw, but this one is all but over. Brian Poe, with this victory, will win 2026 UK Open. And what a performance by him. Harshan still might need to fight a little bit longer to get second place. He's going to lose this game and play one of Graham and no, he's not going to play Graham. Ronan or Gary, if they win their games, will be playing Harshan and trying to get second place by winning by like 250. But we'll see what game we show in the finals. This will be the clinching victory for Brian Poe. Congratulations to him. Will he spot Prophage to the PHAGE? By far his best play for 48 points. That would be incredible. Actually, it might not even be his best play. Groover from the G is 33 and gives Brian the chance to potentially go out next move. Prophage would completely empty the bag. In 2 weeks, I'm hearing, because of this victory, I believe, Brian will be playing a best of 17 match play against Phil Robertshaw. And I believe that'll be live streamed as well. Looking forward to that one. I will be in New Orleans at that moment, though. But so many Scrabble streams are hitting the interwebs. I really want to give a huge shout out to everyone behind the scenes, Ruth, as well as Rick, who are managing this stream. All the co-commentators as well. Groover is the play. 33 points. Harshan has every incentive to challenge that. It does end the game on the spot. This is valid. So 38 will be the score of this play. And we'll be in an endgame. Brian's going to draw 3 tiles, PINE. And we'll potentially just go out next turn. Wow. What a game. Honestly, it was so tense. Brian was moments away from not blocking Gungiest, but his instinct kicked in, and he's all the better for it. Harshan with 10 minutes to solve this endgame. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Far more streams are in the works for 2026. I'm sure of it. If you're watching on Twitch, you should go straight to YouTube, to ABSP Scrabble. Give them a thumbs up. Turn on your notifications. We will have an interview coming up with Brian after this victory. And yeah, I mean, he's probably so excited. He looks very stoic, though. But don't go anywhere. There will be one more game streamed, I think, after the victory speech, after the interview. The final round still to play, still a lot on the line. Harshan needs to not lose by a ton to retain second place. And a bunch of people vying for third, fourth, and fifth place prizes. So we'll choose a very good matchup for you guys. Yeah, Harshan's best endgame here is just to play Through the Eye of Fritzing, Mieved, for 34. After which Brian can go out a variety of spots. So yeah, that's probably why Groover was the best play for Brian. If it was a closer game, it might have been the difference between winning and losing. It is so powerful to have the final play in Scrabble. So yeah, Harshan, it's probably already sunk in. He will not be winning this tournament. It's pretty much won every other tournament. But still a very, very strong performance by him. He spotted his best endgame again in a lost position. Such class. So, like I said, if you like what you're watching, more of it to come on this YouTube channel. You can turn on notifications. You can subscribe. You can like the video. You can comment once the video is uploaded on the channel. And that really helps the algorithm, really helps grow the game. And it's free. Love to see all of you coming out for this. It was an awesome tournament. I wish I could have watched more. There were some crazy games. Game before this one was wild. Now Brian has the chance to just let his victory sink in. I can really just see a smile, or at least the shadow of one. Feels like Brian's face has come to life now that he realizes what he's accomplished. Nothing beats that feeling. If you're just joining, this is the decisive game in the 2026 UK Open. Brian Poe has taken 2 games in a row against Harshan to clinch championship win. Harshan about to lay down his best play reconsidering, just double checking. It's still important for him to extract every spread point because there's a good chance he'll need to defend that spread next game for second place. Brian can just do whatever he wants here. He can just pass his turn. I don't think he can lose unless he lets Harshan play ridiculous phony words every turn. Tons of points. So technically, Harshan can still win this game. That's what I'm saying. So 2025 was Harshan's year. We see in the YouTube chat, Stuart mentioning that Harshan won the UK Open, the Easter match play, the Winter match play, the National Championship. He almost won the Masters, but Phil took that one from him. But a huge year for Harshan. He seemed almost untouchable for most of it. He even traveled stateside to the United States, play in the Albany main event. That was a huge tournament in July, where he performed very, very well as well. But yeah, what else to say? We will take a short break after this game ends. We'll get Brian prepped for interview. If you guys have any questions you'd like to ask, maybe of some other games that he played, any of the games he played on stream, if he remembers the positions, if there's something you wanted to ask him, feel free to relay that. Harshan laying down Meaved 34. Brian going to go out and also score 27 with Neep through the E on the middle left of the board, but it's almost always better to go out when you can. So Inept or Nepit to the T of Gunnites, Kane for 13, making ID and NE. And Nepit is what he spotted here. That'll be the final play of Brian Poe's incredible run. Congratulations to Brian Poe on becoming the 2026 UK Open champion. Final score 533 to 398. Harshan very likely to get second place. We will see. We show his game next round.